Good evening, everybody. How's it going?
You did promise your Bison hat. I
Yeah.
forgot all about it.
I didn't want to tell you because I wanted it to be a surprise for you too.
Is
So
that what you were looking for?
No, I was looking for the hat. I had the hat
You were
already.
looking-
I was looking for earbuds, so I didn't. Yeah, so I could have my headphones in while I wear this hat. But I needed to adapt earbuds to my mixer, and it just it took me a while to find a cable that was gonna work.
Oh, I've got like millions of those.
Yeah.
Or actually, you know what? I might not have very many in that. Well, no, I've got lots of small to big. But
so I'm gonna wear this hat tonight. I'm gonna wear it the entire stream. My head's
you bought it while you were camping.
Yep, it was
$3.
Yes, $3.99. You can't say no to that. That's crazy. Like who would not get this hat for $3.99?
I would get that hat for $3.
Yeah, you never know when you might need it, or it might come in handy, like right now.
I know. Like you should absolutely wear that like
every time
every day in the winter.
From now on. So I just thought it'd be an appropriate way to stream with the Mega SD.
Yeah,
it has taken me a lot of times to remember to say Mega SD instead of Mega SG. I've had to make a mental note.
I can see how it's hard. I mean, we're probably going to say the wrong thing at least once during the video on it.
Yeah, I think I got myself pretty well trained at this point, but
I mean, it's relatively easy in the sense that it's like Mega CD but SD instead of CD.
Yeah,
that aspect of it definitely makes sense.
So I'm going to be streaming it using the Mega SG. So to make things even more confusing, just because it tends to drop signal for a split second every time you boot a game. So I didn't want to use the OSSC, so I'm just going to use the Mega SG because it just keeps a constant signal going.
I feel like that's, I mean, I guess it's equally useful for real systems and Mega SG, but I almost feel like somehow in my mind it's a better fit for the SG than original hardware. I don't know why.
No, I totally agree.
I think mostly because I feel like the Sega CD looks so stupid with the SG.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it.
So it's well, I'll just use real Sega CD if I'm going to use a real Sega CD with a real system, and if I'm going to use the Mega. I mean, to be honest, I do find using a real Sega CD to be a bit of a pain. So
yeah, I can absolutely
definitely see myself using this in the future. I don't have one, so our video is going to have to talk me into buying one.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
it probably will though. I mean, I've really heard nothing bad about it.
No, yeah, I mean it's pretty great. I mean, mine just showed up on Friday, so I've only been playing with it for a little bit. I didn't get to spend as much time with it yesterday as I wanted to, but in general, it is like the go-to flash cartridge for the Genesis going forward.
Yeah, you said it's got 6 save slots for
It has 8 save slots per Genesis game
for cartridge games.
Yes,
we got $2 from Jonathan. I'm going to make a real good attempt here. I'm thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. We did have a
Georgievsky says finally catching a live stream. Well, glad you finally made it.
Yeah. And we also had a $2 donation from Warren Hokie. It says, can we get any chance we can get Night Trap or Slam City? Yeah, probably. We can probably make that happen. I'm gonna switch over, and I'll switch over to the game.
Where's Sandy? She is.
So I'm still using it in the
chewing on a toy.
Even though I'm playing on the Mega SG, I've still decided to put it in. This is a little bit big. Hang on, let me see if I can shrink that down.
decide to put it in the
4.3 because
in the 4.3 format. Oh yeah, sure.
So I've decided to basically use the Mega SD or SG in 4X for everything going forward, just because I know you can fill out the screen and everything like that with like interpolation, but I like to have the option to use that my scanline overlay in post if I want to.
That's
and
true.
if you do that using like non-integer scale or 4X scale, then it throws it all off.
Oh, my webcam is a bit off.
Oh, weird. That's weird. Maybe I just moved that instead of actually moving what I was supposed to. Hang on. I'll fix that right now. There we go.
Oh, we got $2 from Legendary K4. Thank you. Any plans for new RGB Masterclass 200 series? Yes, yes, for sure. The next one is probably going to be Wii, possibly followed by Dreamcast or PC Engine.
Yeah, Dreamcast is more likely, I'd say, at this point.
I don't know. I mean, well, I mean, I don't know what the status of the HD Retrovision cable is.
I'm gonna start
basically
off with, really quick. I'm just gonna start off with Afterburner 3.
Okay, I don't know much about
it. It's not great.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we is definitely we needs to happen this fall. I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Once the documentary series is edited, like I almost kind of want to just do that. Like almost as my next video once all that's done, just because, well, maybe at least once it starts releasing, because then we'll have like 5 weeks to work on it, or 6 weeks really coming. Also, I'm getting behind. Donations here. Thank you all. There's $2 from Blast Processing, appropriately, saying play Snatcher start to finish. I have all night. That'd be fun, I'm sure. Although I want to play Snatcher myself, so I don't want to be spoiled on it. So. And $2, more $2 from Joey, asking y'all play the Dragon Quest XI demo yet? Yes. And I think, especially in handheld mode, it looks amazing. Actually, I'm quite shocked how well it's converted to the Switch. In handheld mode, the FMV quality is actually like really good. I feel like FMV quality usually looks kind of very obviously compressed on Switch. Because they're always trying to save on like card size and stuff.
Right.
But I thought it looked super clean, at least in handheld mode. I did try the game briefly just a couple hours ago and docked. And the downgrades are more apparent in docked. And the video compression doesn't hold up as well. But still, I mean, it's pretty impressive that it's, as our friends at Digital Foundry would say, the full fat experience. I mean, it is. I am impressed, especially in handheld mode, and that's actually something I've been finding myself thinking a lot lately. Like, just like, this Switch game just looks better on the Switch screen than it looks on my TV, So, like, a lot of times I've been like, I think I'll, save this game for playing in handheld.
That's such a disappointment this game was when I played. I didn't realize it was just a remake of G-Lock on at least in the US. How sure I can be in third person all the time?
Wait, so it's not a real Afterburner
it's
game?
not an actual Afterburner 3. It's like G-Lock Air Battle or something like that.
Huh.
Like a port of it.
we got I mean, it's $2 from a whole bunch of different people. Tonight is $2 night. Wow.
So,
Wedge asking, what do you guys smell like right now? I honestly don't know. I mean, I can check. I smell like the remnants of deodorant at this point in the day. There's a hint of deodorant still there.
I probably smell like a mix between like a campfire, because there's a fire out back of the house. There's a campfire outside of the back in our backyard, and also Arcade Legacy. So that's how Arcade Legacy buying a Nomad, so I could show the Mega SD working in a Nomad for the video.
We got $2 from Aaron Welsh saying, "How can you wear a dead Sandy as a hat?" Well, luckily that is it's not even sandy colored, but it's in my closet and I don't feel like getting it out right now. But I've got a stuffed Sheltie that a couple of weeks ago on the Backloggery stream, Sandy was at my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
And so she wasn't here, and I got out the stuffed Sheltie to be the fake Sandy and drum for like a period of, I don't know, maybe like 30 minutes, like actually like just balanced it on his head while we played Diablo 3.
So this is Android Assault, the Revenge of Bari-Arm. It's a shooter that it's actually pretty expensive now. I've never played it. Oh, we had a...
Oh, SSJN with $2. I heard this was the Better Off Dead stream. What does that mean?
I'm assuming that he's referring to the John Cusack movie, but I don't recall too much from it. So if maybe it has to do with like funny hats. Maybe it has something to do with that.
Maybe it has something to do with Sega CD games.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. I'm guessing that's what he's talking about then.
This game doesn't look, other than I'm assuming audio, this game doesn't look like it's taking any particular advantage of Sega CD in terms of just games visuals.
Right, and I mean that's true for a lot of games.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just it's, supposedly like just a really solid shooter.
Have you noticed any issues with like any audio getting out of sync because it's like going faster, or any audio skips?
So I guess I should go through the menu options with you if you want to see.
Sure.
I got to go back to the main menu to do that though. Let me just bring that up. Okay.
So when you're playing CD games, you can't use save states. Is that right?
Right. There's no save states for CD games or Master System games. Only Genesis games. Okay, so obviously you have the boot to last game, which is, I understand you turn on the system and it just boots the last game, but at the top of your menu it'll show up anyways, like the last game you played. So you can just choose it right there.
That's nice, because like at least on the EverDrive I've got, like if you press the start button when it first boots up, it'll load the last thing, but sometimes I don't remember what that was.
There's a donation on the stream. Can you pause it and read it? Because it looks
yeah. Goran with $2. Thank you. I'm from Australia. Where is the best place to buy a TurboGrafx console, and what website is best? I mean, I would personally recommend getting a PC Engine, I would say, in your case, because PC Engine and PC Engine games are much less expensive than US TurboGrafx system and games. You can get a region mod for the system relatively inexpensively if you do want to play American cue cards. Yeah, I mean, I guess eBay. I mean, I don't really know what the most popular auction site in in Australia would be, or if there's like proxy services for like Yahoo auctions in Japan. I don't know much about those, but I mean, I don't really know much about getting old systems outside of sites like eBay, auction
Right.
sites.
All right, so the auto region fix in the menu. If you get a mismatch of your like whatever game you're trying to play, because you load up the different BIOSes here, you can choose which one you want to play, or which BIOS do you want to use.
But you have to put those on there yourself.
Yes. But I guess the auto region fix will make it so that it'll detect the correct region if it's not. I don't know. Like, I don't really understand it completely yet. I mean, I've only been messing around with different
that's
stuff.
good, because like I've got the Japanese version of Final Fight CD,
right?
And like it's weird because I've actually got multiple Japanese BIOSes on my EverDrive, but for some reason only one of them actually works with the game, and I don't know why. It's actually the one that has the earliest number. And Frank Yeager broke the $2 streak with $5.
Thank
you. I'll up the ante to $5. Thank you. SCART cables seem to hang down from my OSSC and might bend the pins. Other than placing things under it, any way to stop this? I never really felt like my OSS. It was like putting. I mean, maybe it's just the way
if it's just a drop off behind it, it's gonna happen. I mean,
yeah. I mean, mine's kind of flat on a table, so I don't feel like it's putting undue pressure under it. Although I actually, just because there is a little space under it, I've actually got one of the audio cables kind of run under the SCART head, so that does kind of add a little support. But I've never felt like it was, at least in my case. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I kind of do that.
I mean, putting something under it couldn't be a bad idea.
Okay, so the in-game reset, if you press and hold up and start, it'll just like reset the game. In-game menu, if you press up and start really quick, it'll bring up that menu where you can go back to the main menu, reboot the game, change discs, and you can also adjust the PCM and CDDA audio. So, which I think is kind of cool, because you can, like RoboAlest has really loud sound effects. You can't hear the music very well, but you can turn down the PCM audio so that you can hear the music better, and the sound effects aren't so loud. Game load reset type, there's hard and soft. I don't know I'm assuming that soft just like reboots the game itself. But when you select, when you have it set to hard, it will like reboot back to like the Sega CD menu. Per game CD backup RAM is pretty awesome. I mean, obviously, it's just a save file. It's a set of internal save RAM, or like let's say like the battery internally, like the BRAM, the backup RAM, or whatever it is. It's inside the Sega CD, and also like is equal to about half of a RAM cart. So you have like a full set of save space per game, and it will make that per game. It will like name what's that?
Mitch B is saying that soft reset is for X-Men.
Okay.
Isn't there something about getting stuck in that game?
Yeah.
I forget the details.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. You have to beat the game, you have to hit reset at a certain point in the game. Or X-Men too. But you can also turn that off, and it just like makes a pool like a normal. All the games will use the same internal save space and stuff like that. I see that there's we
got $2 from Jonathan Henson. Thank you.
Asking,
you, Corey, are you planning any future console mod repair Patreon videos? Also, are you using the budget-friendly soldering station that Voltar was recently praising?
I'm definitely going to do more of those. I just haven't had time to really mod anything. I want to put in one of Voltar's Sega bypass chips or the boards inside my Master System. But I just haven't had time to do it. Oh, look, we got Todd's Nerd Cave in the chat, and he's he works for Terra Onion, and so I'm sure he can answer any questions that I might have, or he'll more clearly explain things than I can, off the top of my head with my limited experience with it so far. But as he says, soft and hard reset doesn't have anything to do with X-Men. So I guess I'm pretty sure that the soft reset just has to do with it's only for CD games, and I think that one of them is essentially equal to holding down all three buttons and pressing start, and then the hard reset reboots the system to the Sega CD BIOS screen. But anyways, you got the select CD BIOS, and you can put all your different BIOSes in there. For each region, there's a European, USA, and Japan. Emulate seek time. So it just speeds up loading, essentially. If everyone's wondering what's going on with my head. Emulate seek time is basically just to emulate how it's so much faster than a Sega CD, so it slows it down so it doesn't get ahead of itself. Right. You don't have to have that on because it's in the information is already in the firmware of what games need this and what don't.
Oh, okay.
But I generally just keep it on because I've kept it on so far because I just feel like it's more accurate to the truth.
So they've already experience. tested They've tested enough to know which games might glitch out if it's.
Oh yeah, I mean they've tested every single game, as far as I know, for the system in all regions, I think. You can either hit reset on your console or bring up the Mega SD menu and select reset game. Yep. Enable Master System FM is obviously for the Master System games. Graphics scaler speed up. So this thing is not in the manual. I'm guessing that it has to do with games that use a lot of scaling, and I wonder if it just runs faster. When the Mega SD was first announced, they put up some videos of some games on YouTube just running on it, and Batman Returns was one of those, and it was it definitely ran too fast. It was just too fast. The scaling was too fast. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with it, because I recorded footage to do a side by side. I feel like it looked like it was running faster with that on versus the with it off. I'm sure that Todd can probably expand upon that a little bit, but I got to do a side by side comparison.
Right. It speeds up the VDP.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like in most cases it would be risky.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I'd rather have the game just run as they originally did.
Yeah.
For the most part. So that's why I'm choosing to put on the emulate seek time and turning off the graphics scaler speed up. CD.
He says I would leave it off 99% of the time. It's cool that it's there, though. I mean, just so you can experiment.
Right. CDD audio, obviously, those are the base values, and PCM audio, those are the base values that it just every time you start a new game, this is what it is at, and you can adjust it, but it'll always go back to this value. If you played something else and came back to it, it doesn't. If you want to, you can set the defaults here. Treble boost, I assume, is just just for the audio. Well, obviously it is, but same thing with the PCM low pass filter. I'm just leaving those off for now. I'm assuming that they are probably just more accurate when they're off. And this newest firmware, they actually did use uh, MD Fourier to get the audio as close as possible to
Cool.
real hardware. So I wonder if the low pass filter and the treble boost have anything to do with that. Having them off maybe makes it sound more accurate to the original hardware, but having them on probably makes it sound better, I'm guessing.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah, he's saying that we have some games whitelisted for emulate seek time, so no matter what you set it to, it'll always enable or disable it. And obviously, you know, disable the UI sounds because it just makes a little click every time you move around. Reset defaults, and yeah, so that is it. That's
the settings. Well, now you're through that. We got $2 from Legendary K4.
Thank you.
How would you send component and SCART to a PVM? So for SCART, you would need like a female SCART to 4 BNCs, four separate BNC cables. One would be, you know, red, green, blue, and then sync is the fourth. Or component, you would need RCA, female RCA to male BNC adapters that you could put in there. Some of those have like really loose connections. I don't really like them. I mean, there's other options like you could get, I think you can get cables that are RCA on one end and BNC on the other.
Right.
But overall, it's not hard. You know, I think I haven't looked at the current offerings in a while, but I think like on Retro Access you might be able to get some cables that are appropriate for, you know, connecting BNCs. You know, you some people even just get straight up BNC cables for their console, like just instead of a SCART out of the console, they just get a BNC cable. How would you send both at the same time? Well, ideally you would have 2 inputs, like the Sony M2 series has 2 inputs. You know, so you could have one set to component, one set to RGB. For others, you might need an expansion card, which unfortunately,
like the BKM 129X.
Yeah, that's not necessarily always that easy to get a hold of. Maybe you're lucky and you're staying with one.
Probably run you around like around $100.
It is possible though to send both at the same time. Like for example, if like if you're using like an Extron, for example. You could send both through that, but you would still have to, on your PVM, go into the menu and switch between RGB with external sync and component or YPB PR with internal sync. Well, we got I'm guessing that's Australian $2.99 from Jackson Lawton. Thank you. What issues can HD CRTs have for retro games? I mean, the most obvious issue is that you can't use light guns on them. Mostly because they're digital TVs and they're doing processing. You know, unlike like a, you know, an HD capable PVM, it's still like a pure analog display. And it displays 240p and 480i and all that stuff completely naturally, without, you know, any processing. But HD CRTs, I'm not aware of any non-HD CRTs that aren't also digital TVs. So no light gun support, that's the obvious one. The others is just that, you know, it is going to be de-interlacing 480i, which can look quite good actually. But it you know, I kind of come to really appreciate the look of interlacing on a proper analog CRT. And yeah, it is nice having the de-interlacing, but again, you know, that is going to cause at least some amount of lag. And then for like 240p games, you don't get the scanline effect at all. So it's, I don't know. I kind of came to the realization, at least for my purposes, that it wasn't giving me the effect that I wanted for retro games. At the time, I thought it was the greatest TV in the world, but that was before I understood stuff like 240p and de-interlacing and things like that. So, you know, I guess the way that I've kind of explained it to people is it's digital TV, but it's a digital TV using analog display technology. So it doesn't really have the benefits that a fixed pixel HD TV like an LCD would have. And it doesn't really have the advantages that a pure analog TV would have. You know, like proper 240p.
This guy is taking so many hits to kill.
I know. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, he's on fire. Jeez. Maybe I gotta destroy all the different parts of him or something.
Yeah, maybe he's got another part that's gotta blow up?
Maybe.
But it looks like you're damaging him because he's blinking.
Yeah, oh, there he goes.
Unless he's just blinking because he's low on health or something.
Oh, if you don't shoot for a little bit, then it charges up your gun, it looks like.
Oh.
Try the next stage.
No? Give it a go, I guess.
So I'm really going to be pushing to get this video out I mean, it has to be by Saturday if I want my dream to come true and have this be Sega month.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would be okay for it to release on Sunday because it's our normal release day. But
yeah, but
it would be cool to have a true Sega month.
Yeah.
Like the only non-Sega thing we basically would have done this month would have been
like a live stream.
The Wolverblade live stream, yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. Nope. How many millions is Coury? $2 from SSGN saying, how many millions is Coury getting to wear that every day for the rest of his life?
No one has asked yet.
No.
Smoke Monster's saying he needs us to get our DAC video out so he can point everyone to it when they ask him questions.
I don't know if we can
really. I don't know if we can like really do like a proper DAC video.
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to until it's.
I mean,
we can't do a review. It's not like we.
Right. I mean, maybe it's possible we could do like a mini style video, but I feel like there may also need to be like I would like to see like at least one firmware update to it before we would really consider
just
that.
See if it gets closer. I mean, it's pretty close as it is. I just bought a justifier
today
for the Genesis.
I need to report this, but I was having some issues with it kind of keeping stable on the OSSC with Super Nintendo, and I think it's because of that jitter that Kevin was in the stream last week saying that he's going to add a toggle to turn that off, and I would for sure at least one thing I would like to test before doing any kind of proper video would be like for him to have that implemented, and make sure, because you know it's weird, like the way that it jitters at the top of the screen, that's my Super Nintendos don't do that. Like I've got 3 Super Nintendos. I got like a modded Mini, I've got an unmodded 1-chip 02, and a 2-chip like 94 units. My NES has that wavy bit at the top. But I always thought that the jitter, when people talk about de-jitter mods, I always thought that was, for one thing, I thought it was the last line, the jitter. But regardless, I thought it was a line that was not visible. I thought it was like, outside the 224. But I don't know. Maybe some Super Nintendos do have that at the top effect. Well, regardless, I think that's what was causing, even though normally I don't have problems with Super Nintendo consoles that don't have a de-jitter mod, I was having some trouble. It was fine when I was streaming with it last week, I think. Well, there might have been a drop or two. During Kirby, do you remember?
Yeah, I think it was during Kirby.
Huh?
I think it was during Kirby, yeah.
It did some drops, yeah. I was just playing around with it a little bit last Monday, and I was having some trouble.
Really quick, I want to ask Todd or Smoke Monster if he knows. Like, so this does not support SG-1000 games. Like, I had put this stuff on here, and I tried booting a game up, and it plays the sound, but no video. I just wanted to make sure that was true, because I just put this on here from my EverDrive pack that I had built.
Does the Mega SG? Oh, it does kind of support SG.
Oh yeah, that stuff is supported on the SG itself. So someone was saying on our Discord, saying, "Oh, you should play one of the unworked designs." And
what would that be other than an RPG? I'm not
right. Well, I mean, I had started Popful Mail. I could probably continue my Popful Mail from yesterday a little bit.
Oh yeah, why don't you play some Popful Mail for a while?
Yeah, it's the unworked version, but that's okay. I do want to ask. I want to run this by Todd. It probably doesn't like. I just must be the way that I created the hack. But is there going to be any way to force a region on something? Like, is it selectable? Because I made this Lunar 2 Eternal Blue unworked version from my disk copy. Like, I extracted my own bin and queue and then patched it. And I also did that with all the other ones too, like Vey and Powerful Mail and Lunar or Silver Star. But for some reason, Lunar always sees it as a European game, and then doesn't like boot at all. So I'll show you. Like, when I try to see, it says, oh, because I have the region free, but maybe I just need to make a new hack with this. But it works on the system when I burnt it, so maybe it's just a problem with the. Maybe it's just a problem.
What
with my
region background is that?
This is it. For some reason, it identifies it as a European.
Huh? Yeah, I'm not familiar.
But it just takes me to this when I try to boot it.
Someone just a bit ago was asking, any problems with my OLED TV, any burn-in? No. Sometimes the Xbox One dashboard and the Switch dashboard occasionally, because the background is kind of that middle dark gray, like sometimes you will see, like when you change pages, you might see like where like a game tile was, like on the previous screen, like you'll see like a little after image of that, but it goes away, pretty quickly. It's not permanent. No permanent issues at all.
Okay, Todd, maybe I should send you that unworked image to see if you could mess with it. See if there's, for some reason, if it's seeing something that it shouldn't be, because it was from my US version of the game. So unless it's just the way the patch worked. But when I burn it to a disk, it plays fine in my US system. But I don't
know. Smoke Monster was asking if we played any light phaser games. I'm guessing he's referring to with the DAC, which I don't have a light phaser. And isn't your light phaser broken?
It's not working right. Yeah.
You actually just bought a Justifier today.
Yep, I bought a Justifier today. I'm like,
Did I just say, oh great, a wood golem?
yeah. I'm dead. I might have to back it up.
So is this version easier than the US version?
Yeah, the US version has the damage like cranked way up. You have 100 hit points, but that really just comes down to about 3 hits.
I didn't know this game had like a
Oh yeah, I mean,
like a world map like this.
Listen, you would love this game.
Oh, I'm sure.
I wonder how much the Japanese version costs, and you should just buy the Japanese version and play the US version. Like burn it.
I mean, I've got the Japanese Super Nintendo version, which I know is not anywhere near as good.
Right.
But it feels like it would be difficult to play without a walkthrough, not knowing what it says, because there's no translation patch unless something has come up in the past couple of years.
Yeah, and
do you think this version is relatively playable without having to like actually talk to anyone or quest or anything?
No, I mean, I'm sure there's people that will disagree, but I feel like I said this in the video that I did a long time ago, that this is like a prime example of the working designs translating, like really fitting the mood of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a little goofy, and it's funny. It just fits the overall look and feel of it.
I'm sure I can see that.
So I'd recommend playing this because there's definitely some '90s jokes in there, but I think that's part of what makes it so appealing even now. But I'm sure there's people that will really disagree with that. I'm just gonna buy new armor. I mean, you when you see like the item screen, be like, oh yeah, this is the Falcom game. When you see like,
yeah, I do want to. I've kind of been telling myself that once this documentary series is done, I'm going to like try to make a serious go at least learning enough Japanese to play, your average 16-bit game. I feel that would be valuable, but I don't have time for that right now.
Yeah.
You use a SCART box and have issues with any signal loss on any consoles. I assume you mean a switcher? We both use G SCARTs. We actually chain the G SCARTs together. Or do you have two chained together?
Yes.
Yeah. And no signal loss on those. Like, you mean the signal actually dropping? I mean, once in a very rare blue moon, I'll see the signal drop on my HD TV, like from the OSSC, like very rarely. Like, I think it's a hiccup for any number of reasons, but that's not common. It's happened, but I don't think it wouldn't drop on like a CRT.
Right. Yeah, you'll never get a signal drop.
So so I wouldn't consider the switcher to be a culprit in that. I would just think that would just be an issue with there being some sort of, digital to analog or analog to digital conflict for, a moment. Oh, we got $1.99 from Eric Schussler saying he's only been a sub for a month or so. You guys rock. Well,
thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Always glad to have new folks around.
just like tanking this guy because I.
You know you can take it.
Yeah. Well, especially in this version.
I got well, you did too. I don't think you tested them though. I got my physical copies of well, it's a single game card, but it's got Oniken and Odalis on it, which is two games made by the developer that did Blazing Chrome.
Oh, really?
Oh, you didn't know that?
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I learned that from John.
Ah.
Yeah, they made those games first. Yeah. Like, I'd already ordered it because I thought, oh, these games look cool, but then my excitement for it was definitely increased when I learned that. So yeah, I played a little bit of both of them today. And they're pretty neat. I'm guessing I'm like maybe close to halfway through Oniken. I keep getting confused. It's Oniken, yeah. Because I keep getting confused because there's that game that just came out from Square Enix, the Tokyo RPG Factory game. I think it's Oninaki. And I keep getting confused with that. I want to import the Japanese or Asian version because I'm pretty sure it has English on the card. I played the demo of it and I thought it was fun.
Of what?
Oninaki. The
oh yeah.
RPG Factory game.
I can't believe it. It is. It's Muttonhead.
Holy freaky creeps.
In the flesh, sweet cakes. I'm the most powerful wizard ever. I'm the scourge of the land.
See, I mean, you look at this translation.
I can't believe it's you.
It's pretty goofy.
Yeah.
I am the great and powerful.
The great and powerful Muttonhead.
Tat said you were outrageous. Boy, he wasn't kidding.
So the unworked version of Lunar doesn't work. There's like a second delay in all audio, so it doesn't work as well as I'd like it to.
Dustin Kramer, $2 with a good question. Favorite movie based on video game?
Which is
I mean, I have to admit, I've kind of got a soft spot for Super Mario Brothers. I really do, and you do too.
I mean, I like Mario. I think that Mortal Kombat is the best one. I think that Silent Hill is excellent until it kind of gets like really silly at the very end.
I haven't seen that, but you've
never seen Silent Hill?
No.
It's really good.
I keep wanting to and then keep forgetting about it. Yeah. I kind of like the Dead or Alive movie. It's really stupid.
Oh yeah.
And it just owns its stupidity really well.
Mail, it's you. Oh, I thought I was.
That was a donation I think I missed.
Quick, pull that lever on your left. It opens the cell door.
You,
We got Jojo Joe with $3.50 saying Tree Fitty for the sexiest retro gamers on YouTube. Well,
thanks.
I don't know if that's
especially it's the hat. It's the hat that does it.
Well,
it just sealed the deal, I guess.
That hat is definitely like charm plus 7 or something, right?
Yeah. Yes.
now then, Junior, where's Muttonhead?
I don't know for sure.
But I like Mortal Kombat. I think is awesome.
I'll take you.
Yeah, I think it's really fun.
Oh, there's another donation in the on the screen
it's
there.
not in the chat. Let me.
Yeah, every time I hear the noise, I glance over to make sure because it seems like a lot of people are using the PayPal.
Benji Yadigar donated $4.30. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, big fan of the show. Is the RGB 200 series ever going to return soon, such as maybe Jaguar or Dreamcast? Yes.
I wouldn't get excited for the Jaguar episode anytime soon.
I mean that's a maybe someday. That might have to be a John
Then I can
collaboration.
collect that big fat reward. No time to lose.
But
Let's go.
Dreamcast, most likely the next two will be Wii or Dreamcast, in either order. Basically, the Wii could happen anytime once the documentary series is done. Wii could happen anytime, and then Dreamcast, we're really just waiting on the HD Retrovision component cables. So.
If you know what's good for you, you'll take
Um,
my advice.
I know what's good for me.
Once the
You
documentary
lay it on
series
your
is
head.
done,
Your threats don't
it's
scare
gonna
me,
be
you little
between
prune.
regular episodes and minis. I think things are gonna be it's gonna be pretty regular around here. We're gonna be
I think so.
we're gonna give the we're gonna give the channel a nice dose of Activia.
No, please wait.
So we'll be pretty regular, I think. I may be the only person that thought that was funny.
it took a moment to totally sink in, but yes, it's kind of funny.
I see someone says I started donating Patreon. Like you just put out a video log. We do weekly video logs on Patreon, and after they show up on the main page in a playlist after 3 months. So if you want to kind of ever want to go back and look at any of those, you can check those out. But you just did one on the 1UP Arcade Final Fight unit, which was kind of fun seeing you put it together and then talk about
Give
how
my impressions.
give impressions about how bad the scaling is on it.
The scaling
times.
is not wonderful. There were some people in the Patreon talking about mods for it though, which I was pretty sure was a thing, but it's interesting because you can get like a mod board to like be able to input VGA or EVI, maybe HDMI, composite. So there's definitely possibilities for like, a Raspberry Pi or I don't know, maybe even a Mister or something. I don't think you can play Final Fight on a Mister, but but for playing anything, of course, I don't really have like the ideal cabinet for doing any sort of mod.
Nope. We got another donation from our good friend SSJ or Paul Sutton, aka SSJ.
Oh.
Shows up on the. Every time I hear the noise, I just like look over.
Yeah. $2. Saying he really liked the Warcraft movie.
I didn't see that.
But the Timothy Olyphant Hitman is my favorite video game movie.
Oh.
I forgot Hitman was a thing.
Yeah, I forgot
was
that.
a movie.
I think that
That always seemed really weird to me because I never thought that series was
as popular as it actually is.
was all that popular until like the most recent 2 games. Like people have said those are really good, and I've actually
the
got
old
Xbox.
ones are considered very good, but I just don't think that it just wasn't probably in the kind of game that you saw yourself enjoying at the time. So
I guess like I never thought they were like that popular, but like I've heard tons of positive talk about the most recent 2. And I've got the Xbox One version of the first of the recent ones.
Slick?
I see Rock Solid's talking about Max Payne was good. I've never seen Max Payne either, and I
Are you?
love all 3 games. It's kind of surprising that I never saw it.
I am not lost. I was just out exploring. After you left me.
Are the Retrobit Sega controllers good? I have not used one, but you've got one, right?
The Saturn one is
But
okay. The shoulder buttons are not nearly as clicky. And for some reason, when I use it with an extension, it like inputs like wrong inputs. It also inputs wrong. It gives wrong inputs when you use it with the
With this tinfoil, paperclip, use gum, and bat
with the
droppings,
Haas
copy the
super gun
phone.
using
Sugar
the
bullets, used to bits.
not the Genesis, the Saturn controller attachment.
Kids, don't try this at home.
It's all
This
like it's
bomb's
all
being
jacked up.
detonated under controlled conditions with no parental
It also
supervision.
has a
Assuming you can
10-foot
find
cable,
bat
which might be
droppings,
causing
attempting to duplicate
the
it
issue.
in the real world could result in serious eye damage or one heck of a stinky mess.
So combining that with a extension is just too far.
What are you doing, you idiot? You could have brought the whole cave down on us.
Yeah, exactly. I see that John Vorsanger in the chat is saying pick the Retrobit Saturn controllers. All right for starter, but it doesn't fare well compared to the original. Yeah, I mean the shoulders are definitely a lot more mushy. I was kind of hoping it was going to be a lot better than it was.
Oh yeah, Detective Pikachu. I haven't seen that yet either.
Mm-mm.
I've got the game. I haven't played the game yet. Any opinions in here whether I should play the game first or watch the movie first? Because I'm assuming that they are similar but somewhat different
Yeah.
in terms of plot.
Are you completely retarded? Don't you know we could have been killed?
Hey, why are you calling me retarded?
And what else do you expect me to do?
Go for the movie first. Wasn't a huge fan of the game.
Well,
I definitely got
you
the
could find a
impression
way to
that
get me outta here.
the game is kind of slow paced,
Oh,
maybe.
sure. Now you want my help. Well, I guess I'm forced to help you because I need to get past your little landslide.
Yeah, I saw it.
I mean, I
noticed it.
do intend to play the game because it is on my backlog. So
I noticed the translation there. But
what?
well, just like their use of words. I guess it's very 1993. I guess is a good way to put it. Let's switch to something else. How about some Slam City with Scottie Pippen? I've never played it.
Was that? I saw people talking earlier about a FMV basketball game. Is that it?
Yes.
Is that a digital pictures game?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think this is one it's 4 discs, and each disc is a different person you play against. Slam! I don't know if you can play any character you want, or play against any character you want, or if you have to go in a certain order. So it's kind of cool, like changing discs. There's a button on the Mega SD. Oh.
That Slam City font kind of like makes me think of like,
oh, you
or
can
like really
choose.
this green font like looks like Banjo Kazooie or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like you can choose who you want to play against. So you can press a button and it will skip to the next disc on the Mega SD itself, which is kind of cool. It kind of gives the impression of getting up and changing discs if you want that, or you can just do it right in the options. You can press up and start, and you can do it in the game menu. Do I want to play against Juice, Fingers, Smash, or Mad Dog? I feel there's something
How
about.
can you not do Mad Dog? I don't know who Mad Dog is.
I'm like, how can you not do Fingers? I can't not do Fingers. I gotta do Fingers. So I think it's gonna tell me what. Oh no. I guess disc 1 is Fingers.
You got it.
Let's do it. Oh, look at
I
this.
feel like the FMV quality is like kind of a lot better than like Night Trap. Is it just me?
Fingers got you again.
The fingers got me again. Here we go. This is like,
It's kind of interesting.
yeah. Oh, look at that. Uh-oh. This is...
So, is there like a plot with this at all, or
I don't know. I'm sure it's a little glitchy. It's glitching up a little bit.
Like, do you think that's just how the game is, or you think it's the Mega SD?
I have no idea. I've never played it any other way, anyways.
Show 'em what you got.
You posted a sort of a GIF that some people on Twitter misinterpreted as a Mega SD glitch.
Yeah.
Come on, Ace, you gotta
But
win.
it wasn't. You were showing that it's like, oh, that, like, no, you were changing discs when you weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
And you
can only do that with the Sega CD, Sega CD 2. You can't do it.
Right, you recreated the glitch on a Sega CD 2 perfectly. So that's like,
it's kind of neat.
Awesome that you can do that with a real disc.
Right.
So yeah, that's that's not a problem at all.
This is. Oh. Jeez, like, oh. That part looks hilarious.
Man, if I was anybody,
I somehow find myself intrigued by this.
that's my man. Fingers.
It's my man, Fingers. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Oh. Oh, like I got 1.5 million respect.
Can you play Mad Dog McGree without a light gun?
I don't know.
You should try it.
My respect is at an all-time low. Oh, look, oh!
Yo, crush him like a walnut and sprinkle him onto the side. Put some dressing on the boy.
Smoke Bus, whoever played this never actually played. Whoever made this never actually played basketball.
But they saw a lot of movies about it. Oh, maybe that's why this interests me more than
Maybe. I don't. Oh my.
other basketball games I've seen.
Man.
Ooh, Ace just took a foot in the chest.
At least your shoe was clean. Man, I almost broke a sweat running points on you so fast. You got beat down bad, man.
I don't. Yeah.
Don't worry about me, Ace. I've got a ride.
Oh man. Finger stole my girl. That's all it took. I bet she didn't even like me anyways. She's like, I'm leaving you for Fingers. That's enough of that. Let's see what else we got here. I can't make it this too because I don't have the Japanese setup. How if I play the Japanese Night Trap for a minute?
Sure. Mega CD 2.
That's kind of a different boot up screen there. Instead of having like the Sonic doing his finger and the stars coming out of it. Yeah, I mean it does that. It has that sound, but it doesn't. It's a lot quicker. Here we go. The dub is funny. And like not only that, but the augers like make this like a monster sound.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they go "Roar," like they like screech and stuff.
Didn't we actually see a copy of the Japanese version when we were in Japan?
I
Or
think
maybe
so.
was it the 3DO version?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I have a physical copy of this anyways.
Oh yeah, you should play the Terminator Sega CD.
Oh yeah, I almost beat it the other day.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think I got to like the last level. I have to go here.
It looks so much better than the cartridge game.
Yeah, but it does that thing where the screen scrolls. Like if you change directions, like the screen like kind of scrolls that way for a split second. Does that make sense? Like it kind
Wait,
of
say what?
when you change directions,
Yeah.
the screen scrolls that way for a second. Like it's the way the screen moves is like locked to your left or right facing.
Right,
Like,
right. Oh, so is it kind of like
inches towards like the right when you're
so like swings around like
Yeah,
weirdly. It's like trying to be smart about it, but it's maybe a little too hectic.
yeah.
Like Vector Man is
Yes, exactly.
I feel like Vector Man is a game that I should like.
Yeah, hang on.
まずやり残した分を瓶詰めにする。今夜はサラがあと6人連れてくるからな。6人すごいや。
He's like,
例の用事で出かけ
すごいや。
大丈夫。トニーと僕がいる。
Instead of saying like, hip.
心配だ。
これも持っていきましょう。
Just listen to it for a minute.
一番
すごい。
の情報じゃ。
もうジェフったらお行儀よくなさいな。これはダメ。オーガーにあげる分よ。
ああ、もったいない。
みんなが来たわ。
そうか。行こう。
Oh, I need to go to driveway.
僕が来てやんなきゃママからお許しが出なかったくせに。うるさい。兄弟
I think it's great.
中に入るわ。お願いね。いらっしゃい。サラ。あんまり遅いから来るのをやめたかと思ったわ。とんでもない。すごく楽しみにしてたのよ。湖がとっても綺麗だわ。本気？あんなの沼じゃない。いらっしゃい、メーガン。
I mean, it's a lot of effort put into this.
みんなこっちに来てくれる？オッケー。パパ。新しいお友達ね。可愛い方ばっかり。
私どもの別荘にようこそ。
パパ、紹介するわ、シンディよ。
For a game that like
アシュレイ。
probably had almost no market over there.
Right.
ヘイ。リサ。はい。リサのことね。
Usually, Lisa's like, hi. And then she's just like, hi.
ケリーです。よろしく、マーチンさん。
ケリーさん、ビクターと呼んでください。
かっこいい。
こちら
Wait, she said hi as in yes?
No, she's saying hi. Because that's actually what she says. And the other girl usually goes, when Megan goes, hey. The dub actually goes, hey.
あの人はお隣のエディ、ちょっと変わってる。いかにもそんな感じね。でしょ？いやね、ほんと変わり者って顔の相手にしないでね。
He gives me a thumbs up. Like he knows.
いらないわ。
クレチン。
おじいのくせに気取っちゃって。
Oh, Phantasmagoria was on Japanese Saturn? Oh man.
Oh, really? How soft are the My Life in Gaming shirts? I have no idea how the Teespring ones are. I've never bought from the Teespring, I have to admit.
Coury is very picky about t-shirts.
Yeah, I'm very picky about the softest of my t-shirts. Like, I'm not a big fan of like the old style, like the heavier Gildan kind. Like, I don't like my t-shirts to be like heavy.
I do prefer more of a lighter feeling shirt,
Yeah.
but I'm still not that picky.
But I'm actually trying to get them made here. Actually, oh, there's
So you'll
another.
actually have like a stock of properly
Yeah,
printed ones. To
there's
ship?
another donation on the in the pop up on the video, but not in the super.
Inmate
super chat.
302 with $5. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Sugoi Senpai Coury-san. Quick question though: does the Mega SD play the big Genesis ROMs like the crazy Mortal Kombat hacks?
If I have it in here, I can try it. Let's see. I mean, what is actually pretty cool, before I get into that, is that it has
Smoke Monster says yes, by the way.
Oh, okay. I guess that answers that. But speaking of that, I guess what I'll do is I'll go to the I'll go to the hacks, and there is what is called the Mega Drive Plus games, which is basically like MSU1 games, where it's a CD soundtrack with the Genesis game. But yeah, maybe I'll play that for a minute. A Streets of Rage 2 one just came out today. Someone released Streets of Rage 2 with an arranged soundtrack. If you look at that, there's kind of like a weird rainbowing going on the logo. I'm sure that's what the main game looks like, but it almost looks like a composite thing. You don't see it? Maybe just like look in the little window.
Like around OutRun?
No, just like in the smoke behind the car.
Oh yeah, it's like flickering.
Yeah, it almost makes it look like a composite, like they're trying to.
But it's like only the one.
Get ready.
That's weird. I wonder if the game's normally like that.
I don't love the Genesis version of OutRun. I feel like the color of the car is a little too dark. And I know that Pyron did
I feel like you've always steered me away from getting this version of the game, but I don't know. I don't think it looks bad.
I mean, I'd just get the Saturn version if I was you. The Saturn version is the one to get.
That's an import, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the Sega Ages, the Working Designs one.
Yeah, but that's expensive.
I should make it a thing where I wear like a different hat every week. Can you imagine that? I'd have so many hats. Eventually.
No, you need to make a brand deal with a hat store.
Yeah.
I have never been very good at OutRun. Like, I've never been able to get very far in it. I think I'm not using the gears right, though. I think it's part of the problem.
Yeah, so I've been playing the it just like kind of in some downtime in between stuff. I've been playing that Horizon Chase Turbo, which isn't very OutRun inspired. The Switch version got a physical release in the US recently, and it's just really fun.
Like a retail release?
Yeah. It's got pretty simple graphics, but I mean it's very smooth and. What's that?
Is it sprites, like retro graphics?
No. I mean it's retro in some aspects. You know how if you look at the ground here and on the road, how there's like the alternating color banding. It looks a lot like that.
Okay.
It's pretty neat. I mean, there's not a lot to it. I was a little disappointed there was a patch for it, especially since it's been out for a while, but a major update just came out for it that added all kinds of like extra features. Like a whole like DLC mode or that like changes every week or something like that.
Checkpoint.
Danganronpa V3 had a mini game that was very, very OutRun inspired.
What was I gonna play? I forgot what I was gonna play after Night Trap, and I got sidetracked.
I wanted you to try Mad Dog McGree.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Terminator was another one.
Oh yeah, I'll play that next. So I know that there's newer BIOS for the that you can use. Oh yeah, you can play it without it. Oh, sorry about that. Oh jeez. There's newer BIOSes that are like, I guess, are recommended, but I can't not use the original Sega CD. I can't not use like the 1.1 because of the music. So when the game starts up and it has the logo, the voice goes, "American Laser Games." it kind of like whispers it.
In the air.
Wow, this is interesting that it's like got no dithering.
Yeah.
Like it's like banding city here.
Town's deserted. Even a tumbleweed doesn't dare blow across the street.
Okay, so holding down B makes it go a little faster. Or and C makes it go really fast.
Sure, we got sheriff.
Okay. Oh, okay. So 2-player game gun. I'll do 1-player joypad
Let's see
one.
what kind of a shot you are, Pilgrim. Take a crack at this box. Nice shoot.
Nice shoot.
Try another one.
Where is it? There it is.
Nice shoot. Try another one. Try another one.
How do I reload? Do I not get the reload?
You missed that one. Try another.
You missed. I don't have any bullets left. How do I reload? Oh, okay. You gotta go to the bottom of the screen. Got him. I shot that guy.
Well, I'd rather be lucky than good. You took a bad hit, but it looks like...
It's so over the top. Where do I want to go?
I love these games.
Saloon. So I wonder if this. Oh, he's really hard to see. Like I could not see that guy.
Well, I'd...
Did you see him up there? He's like hidden up there. Look at watch. Like how do you even see him? Is that it? Here we go.
Be careful, that's Mad Dog's boys over there.
This guy's gonna.
Looking at my keys, stranger?
You have to wait to shoot him at the right time.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I mean, I've played a few versions, but it's been a while. My uncle had a version of it on PC. I've played a bit of the Wii version.
You know, really quick, I see that the last old school retro gaming YouTuber is saying that Keio. They're talking about Keio Flying Squadron. I'm gonna play that before I play Terminator.
Oh yeah, that game does look great.
Yeah.
Especially the Saturn one. Wish I could get them.
It is. It's really good. I mean, definitely the most expensive game. Robo LS is one of my favorite games on the system too. Such a good soundtrack. I'm not gonna play Sylphie. I played an entire stream of that a long time ago.
Year of the Keio era, Japan.
I love the first level music in this too.
Did you finish, Sylphie? You did, right?
Yes.
Doing while they were stealing the key from us. You went to get a snack, you fool.
Ow! You don't have to get so upset about
The unworked version has all like a lot of the working designs, gameplay stuff removed. If you check the game hacks video that I did like last month or whatever, it has a lot of information on it.
I feel like I'm seeing some shimmering on that ship above me, but it's probably just the way it's
Yeah, it looks fine on the
scaled in OBS.
Yeah, looks fine on the monitor. Oh. I remember seeing this at a Hollywood Video for sale as it was closing down. It was actually at a Zappers, and they were selling. Zappers closed down. I don't know if anybody else in the chat has ever heard of Zappers. Zappers was like a Western New York thing. I played a lot of games there. It's like a video game store, but you could pay like 25 cents to play a game for any game in the store for half an hour.
Oh.
That's where I bought my Final Fantasy II and Secret of Mana. There's some commercials for Zappers on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure it was just like a Western New York thing, or maybe just a New York State thing.
Oh, we got $5 from Ben Brody asking me, "What's your favorite Sega game and why is it not Space Harrier?" Last week, didn't he ask what is your favorite Sega game and why is it Space Harrier?
Yeah.
My favorite Sega game. I'm trying to think if I can update my answer to this or not. My answer for my favorite Sega game has, for a very long time, been Skies of Arcadia.
That is a great choice.
Which, I mean, I feel like that could be a little out of date because, I mean, really it was, I played it on GameCube, and that was before I even owned a Sega system. That was before Virtual Console. But I feel like a lot of my favorite Genesis games aren't Sega games. I mean, a lot of the times I like Sega stuff that's like kind of what you don't always think of Sega for, like the RPGs and things like that. So, but I do like Space Harrier. I played Yakuza 0 earlier this year and put a bit of time into Space Harrier in that. Oh yeah, Skies of Arcadia and the original Grandia are like some of the most charming RPGs of all time.
Yeah. The FMVs in this game are like usually about 10 seconds long, if even 10 seconds. But my favorite part is when you first go into the past, and it's like immediately he's just like, Coury's is like gunning down like every punk on the streets with a shotgun, and it's just what's like the term for that? Is it what is it? The dissonance or whatever? Like what's the terminology for that?
Tonal dissonance or something.
Or
like that.
Something like that, where it's like, oh, it feels weird, like this. like the violence, and you know, like I get it, like it's, but it's one of the few times where I was like, oh, it feels just kind of weird that he's here to like, you know, save the future, and he's just like gunning down like dozens of people on the street.
Oh, this is perfect. Chris Broom donated $2 asking, "Try, what's your beef with Vector Man?" Well, this game looks, I mean, just from observing it, looks like it doesn't fling the camera around quite as much as Vector Man.
Right.
I want to like Vector Man, and maybe someday it'll finally click with me. I mean, I even saw a copy of it this weekend, and like part of me thought like, is this time I'm gonna commit to Vector Man, and like commit to it and try to understand it and like it. Because I've only played it like in like Sega collections or on EverDrive and stuff like that. My stream froze.
I got a $2 donation from Josh Lowe. Thank you, with no message.
Well, thank you. I think stream might be crashing for a few people.
Oh, really? It couldn't handle. Oh,
I think it's back. I think we're back.
Back now. Okay, so I don't know what that would have been.
YouTube might just be burping a bit.
Yeah, it's not saying it's dropping any frames.
But yeah, Vector Man, like I feel like the character takes up too much of the screen, and like the camera just like flings around wildly. Every time I play the game, like I feel like I can't like see very far ahead of me. I don't know what I'm shooting at until it's like right in my face. I don't know where I'm jumping, you know, because I can't see in front of me. It feels like there's just a lot of wild leaping. It's a game I want. It was always one of the Sega games that I was curious about early on.
Oh, I didn't know I could die without the barrier. Or with the barrier. Bulletproof vest. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna reboot the game, and I'm going.
Did you see?
I'm gonna play on easy just so I can get to the past where I'm just running around with a shotgun. I just think it's really funny.
Emperor Ernest mentioned Tommy Tallarico. Did you see that super over the top and television Amico trailer?
I didn't.
Oh, John linked me to it because he said he was dying. And there's like Tommy Tallarico. I guess he's like the president of the company that's releasing this thing, and it's like he's like talking all about like, you know, people don't like game together in the living room, you know, it's not like a family time anymore. That's what people used to do with games. But it's like this all like intense shots and like intense lights, like dun, 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 dun. You know, like it's like super intense. It's like very dissonant with like, you know, his message of like family and togetherness. It's just like this like super intense, like typical, you know, video game trailer that like is for the Intellivision Amico.
I know almost nothing about it. I have not been paying attention.
Most of what I know about it is the trailer that John linked me to. You should watch it. It's the music is intense.
I see. It looks like we got $1 million question.
We got $25 million question for $5 from
Thank
Ben
you.
30. 25 million. But you have to get a full chest tattoo that says "Ask me about Vector Man." Also, you have to wear transparent shirts at all times. Well, I figure a transparent shirt is probably, kind of obscures the tattoo enough that people won't really be able to clearly make out that it says "Ask me about Vector Man." So maybe
What if it's like you have to wear transparent shirts and you can't exercise for the rest of your life? Like if you're gonna be wearing a transparent shirt, I feel like you'd like try to exercise at least semi-regularly. Just
maybe in another 25 years, like transparent shirts will be like the end thing.
Yeah, like in Blade Runner, I think they are, or at least it's like a transparent coat.
Yeah, I could see that being a Blade Runner feature. But at the same time, in 25 years, I'm gonna be 60 years old, and maybe it would not be considered hip for a 60-year-old guy to be wearing a transparent shirt. Or maybe it will, I don't know.
But 25 million, I'd think about it.
If I followed through with that, I would commit to learning all about Vector Man.
Yeah.
Even if I had a little difficulty at first getting into the game, I would commit myself to becoming a Vector Man expert, so that there could be meaning there to people asking me about Vector Man. Another $5 from Ben Brody. Okay, you can wear any shirt, but have to lift and show tattoo to everybody you meet without actually saying anything. Just silently lift your shirt. No, that's way creepier than wearing a transparent shirt, I think. What's even the point of wearing a shirt if I have to do that constantly? That is way too social of an exercise for me. I cannot be that forthright and outgoing to that many other human beings. Becoming a hermit is an option, I suppose.
The music in this, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just really over the top. I don't think it fits the Terminator at all.
Also, having any kind of tattoo and having to prominently show it would make it basically impossible to ever go to Japan again. So. I don't want to be locked out from never being able to go to Japan.
I already have a music track from this game picked out for the video, for the episode.
Oh, nice. JF, it was $5, only asking a couple $100,000 question. $350,000.22, but every pet feels intimidated by you and runs away. Well, that sounds very sad.
Yeah.
It's not even that much money. I mean, it is a lot of money, but not enough money to make a depressing life alteration for.
It's just amazing that such a large portion of this game takes place in the future. I mean, it's like 3 or 4 levels trying to just get into the time machine.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes... I mean, that's the only context where it really makes sense for him to be, like, running and gunning a bunch of dudes anyway.
Right. it is. Well, I mean, there's the police station part. Like, makes sense.
No, it does. I mean, does it?
Well, once everything is... once the
I mean,
Terminator's
who's
there, yeah.
shooting?
What?
Like, I mean, the Terminator's the only thing that makes for him to shoot there.
Right, but I mean, there's just like it's so chaotic. Like in the movie, it's like a big shootout.
So who's he shooting though?
He's shooting the cops, I think.
I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I know, that's true.
I mean, even though technically, I mean, they're probably against him because they don't understand.
Yeah.
It's still kind of weird. Mr. Keebler was asking, are there any benefits between this and the EverDrive X7 aside from Sega CD support? I mean, the save state slots per game is a pretty big thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
mean,
8
if you're
save
into
slots
that kind of
cartridge,
thing.
per cartridge game. Other than that, I don't know if there's anything in particular.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically like the Sega CD aspect is the big selling point, obviously.
Vanessa Area has a good point. Why do the machines need lights in their factory? I mean, that would only make it very difficult, you know. The only purpose of lights is to make it easier for the humans to attack.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they need the lights so that they can train the Terminators to understand what things look like, you know, when there is light. Although I don't know if... Did they ever show a Terminator view that's just like...
It's not infrared?
Yeah.
No.
Never.
Oh, no. I mean, why would they? I mean, it's
Well,
they're always like scanning and...
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't remember for sure. I mean, it's been a little bit since I've seen
Terminators
it.
don't need training. They don't.
I mean, I guess not. I don't know.
David Lim. Hang on, let me show that. It says,
Oh, yeah, I mean, if
working on Sega CD support for the next Genesis EverDrive. Sure, I mean, I think that at this point it's going to be like a minimum thing that needs to compete if he wants to stay competing. But I mean,
what's the
definitely
price?
a market for.
What's the price difference? Like, I don't
think
know
the
how
price
much
difference is $100.
I mean, that's, you know, that is certainly enough to keep people. I mean, you know, people in our circles, you know, make a big deal out of gaining accessibility.
There's
SSJN.
Yep. Sorry, I just wanted to let you know before it goes away.
5 million a year for life. But every year, Ben Brody offers 3 different sets of terms for that year, and you must agree to one. If you fail to accept all previous money is owed back. I mean, I like the multiple options thing. Yeah. I mean, if you invested really, really well, it might not be that difficult to give all the previous money back.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to think about it.
Like, if you can get by just get through 1 year or two. I mean, I don't really. I am not super knowledgeable about economics and how investments work and stuff, but you know, that would definitely be the way to work around it and still come out on top.
Yeah.
Oh, JF with $5.
Thank you.
Coury in his mini PVM window has to high five you, and you have to high five him in your mini PVM window. You want to try? Let's see. My hand is here. Okay. Ready, and
wait. 3, 2, 1. Now. We tried.
It was kind of close.
We earned that $5. Oh, I just went all the way back to the beginning. Whoops. I mean, the music in this game is pretty cool, but there's one particular music track that doesn't feel appropriate. Most of them don't really feel appropriate, but I can appreciate what it's doing. I don't know why I went all the way back to the beginning of the level. There. Good. No.
Yeah, I basically took a shot of you know, a PVM and then a few smaller modders, and you know, and my table and wood panel background. Like, I thought about like actually like setting up the shots for real, but then I realized that was going to make it very difficult to cut out the windows correctly because of like the angle of the camera. So like I had to shoot everything straight on to make the angles like not be awkward.
Oh, interesting. Hang on. Interesting. So I don't know if this happens in the real game. I don't think it does. It just started playing a different music track. It didn't repeat the same song. It started playing a new one.
Interesting.
Unless it's like a BIOS thing, maybe. I don't know. No, it wouldn't. Because I was playing on my regular Sega CD the other day, a real copy of it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if Todd is still in the chat, but maybe that might be a good bug to
potential bug. Evaluate whether it is a bug.
Well, I would have noticed this, I think, because this song only plays like later on in the game.
Oh. Like there's a part in the second to last level of Streets of Rage, Final Fight CD, where there's like there's a one or two track changes in the second to last level that kind of don't feel like it's at a place that makes any sense, but it's there.
Tell us the story. $2 from Dustin Kramer saying, "Tell us the story of the time you got the drunkest."
Well, I don't drink, so it doesn't really apply to these. But Corey's probably got stories.
Gosh, there was one time where man, there's like, I think about the time where I had to go to work the next morning and I was still drunk and I was taking a shower and I threw up on myself in the shower. I didn't go to work. I called in sick.
I mean, accurate. Sounds like you were sick.
So look at it. So I just went back to the past really quick. And now he's like, Straight up, he just like got a shotgun and just like, all right, here we go. Just gunning down all the punks. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty bad. There was a place in New York. They had like the strongest margaritas I have ever had in my life, and I knew it was bad. Like I had really bad experiences. Not like bad, aka like fun experiences, but I knew that these margaritas were way too strong. And I was freelancing at a post house at the time, and they decided to have a team outing one night, and everyone said, "Oh, we're gonna go to this place." This place is called Rodeo Bar, and I was like, "Oh man, that place has really bad or really strong margaritas. You gotta be really careful about that." And so they didn't really believe me. Like, so we went and had the outing, and like the person who arranged the outing was like got like pictures of this margarita. I'm like, this is gonna be really bad. And like everybody was so messed up. Like so many people were still like drunk the next day. Like one guy went home and he's like, I didn't even know what I was doing. You know, you see those people on the street sometimes and they're just like making, like they're so drunk they're just like making fools of themselves on the street. Like saying, just like talking, or just like can't walk straight. And he's like, it's never happened to me, but I was like that guy last night. I did. And another guy went and like rode, like his neighbor had like some scooter, and he like rode his scooter after this. So he's like, I gotta ride this scooter, and it had a cooler on it or something like that. And he like crashed it and like broke one of his ribs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All because they didn't believe you.
All because they didn't believe me. But yeah, wow. It's, you know, if anyone here is in New York now, this place is called Rodeo Bar. I don't know if it's still there, but it's like the strongest margaritas I have had, will likely ever have in my life. But I don't know. I mean, I always like to say that, you know, I met my wife at 3 a.m. at a bar. Believe it or not. Some people might not think that's possible, but it definitely happened. And now, here we are. Sam, I think I'm going to take out the police helicopters on the next level. The police helicopter is like only slightly bigger than your character.
What controller are you using?
I'm just using the M30. Just more, it's convenient, and I really like this controller.
Comfortable.
It's comfortable.
It is kind of my preferred right now too.
Yeah.
Is it known yet whether you can put a real Genesis controller inside a Genesis Mini shell? I really want Joe, since he's got a broken one anyway.
To try it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I use this song right here that's playing right here. I use in the Mega SG video for part of the music segment when he has the close up of the LED lighting up on the system. It's like the drum beat and go poof, poof, poof. Oh.
That sounds like it's like right there.
What, the siren?
Yeah.
That's really outside.
Yeah, I know, but it sounds like it's like right there.
Really quick, I don't know if you saw the comment today from somebody on the third-party controllers video.
Yeah.
Did you see the comment on it today?
Yeah. Saying like, how could you not have a Nyko?
No, it was just a bit more straightforward to that. It says, why did you not include a Nyko controller in your third-party controllers video? And this was like on another video. It was on the Genesis
I
Mini
didn't
video.
notice that.
Like they felt had to go and ask, like in the most recent video, said, why did you not have a Nyko controller in the third-party controllers video? And I said, we only put the controllers in that we had on hand. We didn't have any. And they said, you know, you can. It says, can you order any Nyko? You can order any Nyko controller online, you know. I know, but then there's another comment that said, can't you do a video on some Nyko controllers on your channel?
Yeah. I mean,
we'll try to make that happen.
I mean, you know, there was like a comment or two early on, and when that video released, someone said like they were disappointed in the video because it didn't seem like as thorough as a My Life in Gaming video should be, and it was like that was like never like being this like comprehensive video about third-party controllers was never the intent. It was just like oh hey, we've got access to a bunch of controllers, let's just look at what we got.
Yeah.
You know, it was never meant to be like a heavy research episode or like all about the history of third-party controllers or anything like that. It was just let's look at a bunch of third-party controllers. And it was kind of like this eye-opening moment for me. It's like, wow, like it's kind of scary sometimes the expectations that people have for us. Because it's like it's not like we were being lazy by not looking at literally everything ever. It's just like it's not like we felt like, yeah, we need to step back and like not do like everything or like trying to get away with like not doing everything. I don't know. It was just like, you know, it should be okay for us to like do something just a little more casual like that from time to time, which I think with the, you know, the mini episode having been for the most part well received, I think, you know, does you know, reassure me that it's okay for us to do low key stuff from time to time, as long as we do, you know, the big episodes that we're in.
Yeah. What's it like when we did the mini? I kind of outlined everything, all the points that I wanted to hit, and I kind of made it a point for this Mega SG video. I'm outlining the entire video in a script form before I start scripting it. Or I mean, I have some sort of script already written, but I'm trying to do more outlining just so I know exactly the points that I want to hit. And sometimes I write it in as thorough as I can at first, and then I go and add in stuff like in various rewrites. And I'm trying to do it all in one pass, I guess. But I don't know where I was going with that.
But it helps.
Yeah. So I'm just in this club now. I'm in the Tech Noir club, just like gunning everybody down. Like, why are you even afraid of the Terminator at this point?
Yeah, I mean, the Terminator, like, I mean, how many people did he even kill?
He's probably killed nobody at this point. Or like...
Those punks they got as close.
Yeah, I got... Basically, I've killed way more punks than the Terminator has.
No, like, you are, like, so seriously altering the course of future here.
Yeah.
Like, much more
like
than
any of
warranted.
these people. Any of these people could have been a John Connor.
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe that's the reason that John Connor was so important, was because Kyle Reese killed off all the other potential leaders.
It could have been any of these people.
How do you feel about the new Terminator movie coming out this year?
I mean, I want it to be good. I think that if there's a chance for a Terminator movie since Part 2 to be something I like, this is its only real chance.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird to me that they're doing like, you know, with as much as Marvel has proven that you can like go along, do really good de-aging. I feel it's weird that they're having, you know, Arnold look like an old guy. Like, I feel like they should like make him look like he looked in Terminator.
I don't think they have the budget for it.
Probably not, but
it's such an unsure thing at this point.
Yeah.
But this is essentially like the last chance of them getting it to work, because there's nothing else that they can do after this to make it.
I don't even know how many movies there are at this point, because like the only post 2 movies I've seen are 3 and Genesis. I know there was at least one other, but I think there might have been another one. Maybe not. I don't know if are there 5 or 6 movies at this point. I have no idea.
Well, there may have been 5 or 6, but there's really actually only 2.
Well, yeah. But Genesis was so like unfathomably bad.
Yeah.
Like, it is like almost incomprehensible how bad it is.
Yeah. I don't remember almost anything from it.
But I don't know. I just feel it's weird that they like have to justify
his aging.
His aging.
Well,
yeah. Like, I feel like he should not age.
Well, it's gonna have some. There's gonna be some other reason for it. But
oh, sure.
I don't know. I'm sure we'll get another trailer pretty soon. Because does it come out? I don't remember when it came out.
I think November.
Okay, so that music that's playing right now is the music that played after the one track earlier.
Or what you think might have been a glitch?
Yeah. And
yeah,
you should report
is like, I don't know if Todd is still here, but you should report.
Oh, yeah, I will. I have already found like a couple little things, and I've been reporting like various bugs that I found in the Discord.
Do you know much about like where Sega CD fixes are with the Mega SG? Because there were a number of issues that you ran across.
Right. I think all that stuff has been pretty
well
cleared up at this point. I don't know. I haven't hooked up my original system with it since we did that video. I haven't hooked up my...
Yeah, I mean, that's one reason that the Mega SD is so nice for using with the Mega SG, because I have no interest in hooking up a Sega CD to the Mega SG because I just hate how it looks.
Okay, so I'm shooting the punks in the police station.
Okay.
The music on this
Anyone
level.
got some RoboCop love? Is there a RoboCop Sega CD game?
No, on the Genesis though, there's the RoboCop versus Terminator.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'll play it.
I don't think I knew about that. RoboCop versus Terminator.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew about that.
That was back when Dark Horse Comics was doing a lot of those, when they did like Alien versus Predator and stuff like that.
Yes, that's a good versus.
Sorry, RoboCop versus the Terminator.
Well, of course.
Ooh, he's... He's not fighting the Terminator, he's just gunning down everybody on the street. At least that's appropriate. That's appropriate for... Whoa! Man, RoboCop, he can book up those... the ladder, look at that.
I can't walk very fast, though.
I know, but he's like, whoop.
Have you seen that RoboCop reboot from a few years back?
I think I may have put it on the background at one point, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
I mean, I've never heard anything good about it, but I still want to see it.
This is a pretty good example of the Genesis sound chip sounding like farts. Whoa.
So you going to play as the Terminator as well?
No, even why would you play as the Terminator?
Well,
it's RoboCop versus Terminator. I don't think you do, at least. Look how silly this gun is. It's just like you shoot these grenades and you can manipulate them from the air.
Well, I mean, you know, there's a good Terminator too.
True. You know what is really good? Is the arcade RoboCop game.
Man, look at that blood splatter on the window.
I know, that's kind of cool.
It's like, that's serious.
Oh my god, it's a hostage. Man. Seems like RoboCop can do everything but walk fast.
Is this a cart game or a CD?
That's a cart game. So when you want to save your game, you just hold up and press start to go to the in-game menu, and you can go to save state, and you have 8 slots. So what is cool about that, though, is that you can essentially, for a lot of games, you can save like 1 save state per level, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be really handy for us in the future. There's the fireworks.
Wild Woody? Is that? Yeah, I guess that is Sega CD. I thought that.
Oh, should I play that? I don't even know what to expect from it. I know that's kind of expensive.
For a second though, I was like, wait, isn't that a Saturn game? But no, I guess it is Sega. Didn't GameSack look at it one time? I can't remember.
Probably. Look at this gun is so silly.
Yeah, there's like. It's like a lot to have on screen at one time, too.
Yeah.
Is it limited in any way?
It doesn't seem to be.
You know, I can't remember anything about RoboCop 3.
I just think he gets like the jetpack at one time, at one point.
Sounds a little familiar. I can't remember.
The first RoboCop is an example of a movie that I saw in the theater when it came out that I should not have seen in the theater when it came out. I mean, I saw it with my dad, and I wonder if at any point
if he was like, ooh.
He's like, oh man. Because I just think about the part where like he like shoots RoboCop. Well, before he becomes RoboCop, and he like shoots his hand off.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing.
Oh, there's the Terminator.
I mean, I remember seeing little bits of RoboCop on TV, like when I was young. So like I was, you know, at least somewhat familiar with it, but I didn't realize that it was like supposed to be like a super violent thing. I remember reading about it years later, like, you know, it was like this like example of like movie ultra violence. I was like, really? Like that was never what it was in my head. Like I always thought that RoboCop was like kind of more of a, you know, a teenager's movie, you know? Like, I mean, you look at the character and you would think that.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, I mean, like the ultra violence was just, I don't know. Like,
oh no, I have seen. Don't get me wrong, Ernest. I have seen RoboCop. I've seen the first 3 RoboCop movies, I guess. I just don't remember anything about the third. I mean, I've watched them in, you know, within the past, I don't know, 8 years probably.
I don't know anything about this game, except for you play as a pencil.
Hey, Dusty! Hey, just wanted to thank you again for pulling us out of that Aztec tomb. Hey, listen, that guy that had his spear up.
I don't know. You play as a pencil. Ooh, look at you. I jump on it? How do I erase them?
Does that racing thing happen when you hit like down?
No, it happens when I hit.
That's a pretty good perspective effect in the background.
Yeah.
So like you jump on the enemy's head and then like erase them?
Yeah.
That just makes me uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, it's like, it's actually kind of gross looking.
That's my point. It is very gross looking.
Every time
visually, it's more cartoony than I expected. Like I expected to be more like a pre-rendered looking game.
Yeah. It's a fairly expensive game. Is it just expensive because it's stupid?
I'm sure it's. I mean, it's probably expensive because it's relatively rare. I mean, low print and all that. You know,
Yeah.
that tends to be the reason for price more than popularity. The background does look cool, though.
Yeah. Every time he gets hit, he's like, ow! It's really obnoxious.
Oh, that's right. The Game Sack episode this was on was the Tood Sack episode.
Oh, okay. That would make sense.
I don't know if I would describe Wild Woody as a pencil with Tood, though. I mean, I guess he could be.
Oh, maybe it isn't an expensive game. For some reason, I feel like I saw it. It was kind of expensive someplace.
I mean, maybe it's just that $50 is more expensive than a game starring a pencil feels like.
Yes.
A pencil named Wild Woody.
Yeah.
You know, those white pickup things kind of look like Dreamcasts for some reason.
I'll have to see
Like,
one.
next time you see one, take a look. Yeah, there was one to the left.
How do I erase?
Can you erase in any direction other than downwards?
No. I make everything a lot easier. I can't get out either. I must erase.
You must. Maybe. Hey, you really can't get out of there? Can you double jump?
No, come on. Oh, is this not a Western game?
Really? It definitely looks like one. Let me verify this.
And what list is it on, Frank Strasser? So it's another game to add to the list.
Well, it says designer Christopher Shin.
Oh.
Sounds it says Sega Multimedia Studio.
Oh, really? Oh, my must-have list. What's this? What's the deal with the sketches? Look at it. We got a mermaid and a battleship. What can I do in here? Whatever. That's enough of that. Oh, is this really happening? It happened. It's over now, though.
It's almost 11:30.
Yeah. Let's pick one more. Earthworm Gym Special Edition. Okay.
Earthworm Gym.
It's my impression of the title screen.
That was pretty good.
Earthworm Gym.
I have never been able to enjoy playing Earthworm Jim. I don't mind watching it being played. I feel like its visuals, it's difficult to tell like what's a platform you can stand on, you know?
Yeah. There it is. Hang on, I got turned up. Oh. Hang on.
Earthworm Jam. Earthworm Jam.
It's more burpy when he says it, though.
Oh, that screen looks a lot more elaborate than the cartridge version, like the load screen.
I do love it when you get the continue, when you go by a continue, and he goes, "Oh yeah." I have that that sound effect on in our sound library, and I would love to just put it on more stuff. Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's always been very difficult for me to tell in this game like where the point on the platform that you can stand is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's the best? Well, I mean, I just said the best sample in the game is "Oh yeah." See if I can find it.
I mean, I definitely respect the 90s-ness that Earthworm Jim stands for.
Yeah.
But it is not a game I enjoy playing myself.
I mean, I've never finished it or anything like that. I had a friend that was able to finish it pretty regularly. It's like one of his favorite games to just finish and beat.
Yeah, I remember watching some friends play the Super Nintendo version.
Oh, here we go.
I can't remember if they owned it.
I got attacked when it happened. Oh yeah.
I can't remember if they owned it or if they just rented it.
So what? Besides the extra level on this, like what makes this version better? Like the extra level in the music? But is there other improvements? Like balance improvements and stuff?
Sheepy Tina is asking, doesn't Earthworm Jim 2 only have like 4 platforming stages? What other gameplay formats are there?
Oh, here we go. Hang on.
Oh yeah.
Love that. Oh yeah.
There's an Earthworm Jim 64, isn't there?
Yeah.
Or like that's a game that in my head I'm always questioning like.
Is it real?
Did that? Well, I mean, I remember reading about, it, but like I'm always like, did that get canceled? Or did it come out? I don't know. I can never remember. I think it released. I'm seeing not positive opinions about it.
Do not play Earthworm Jim 3D.
Is it like a yellow cartridge, maybe?
I didn't really, I forgot this game got an HD, like a remake a couple of years back. Do I got
that was a thing, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe I got to shoot. There we go.
Daniel Black is here asking, what's on your head? That's actually surprisingly the first question about that in a long time.
It's just a hat that I got when I was camping. When I was
it's a Bison hat. It cost you $3.99 plus tax.
My kids love it too. I just think it's fun. I mean, it is fun. Just a Bison hat. It almost looks like a hairy Yoda hat in a way. But yeah, it's $3.99. I can't say no to that. That's it's fun. Uh-oh, here we go. I think I'm playing on easy, so I should be able to make it kind of far. Very cool.
What?
Extra level, an extra section in New Junk City, and what the heck, and extra animation of the game as well as the ending. Also, easy ending has voice. So so a lot of it's a lot of balanced stuff too. That's cool. Or yeah.
Ernest says he prefers the SNES version, which I don't know if there's a reason for this, but I just feel like I always hear people think of it first and foremost as a Genesis game. I don't know if it's just that like the attitude of the game feels more Sega.
It definitely does, but I think it's also because people thought, oh, Shiny Entertainment are the people that made it, and they did Aladdin before this.
Yeah.
So which was obviously that version was Genesis exclusive. I assume this is the new section because I don't remember this at all. But he was like, I'm nude.
But why?
Why not?
Because he can shoot things when he isn't?
Well, something happens. I don't know if something happened like narratively to. Oh, which way should I go? Should I go the stud or the wimp way? I don't go the stud way. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's the second level. How hard can it be? Not only that, it's an extra life. Oh, I died.
I'm nude.
I'm nude. I'll try the wimp way this time.
Someone's saying, I always wish Genesis got more Shining Forces and Lunars and less Earthworm gems and edgy action games, which, I mean, that kind of did turn me off from the Genesis as a kid, because I think I was talking about this in the Patreon chat recently. Like, you know, it's definitely embarrassing to look back on, but like I definitely kind of had like an anti-Sega, you know, like,
right.
You know, I want to say like from like about like 5th grade to maybe like 7th grade. Like I was like very anti-Sega, because I saw Sega as being like for like the cool kids.
Right.
Like I was not a cool kid, and I thought cool kids were mean. So, like, you know, all of the more 2D type stuff. Like I was comfortable with my Nintendo dorkiness, you know. So, like, I guess, you know, going back to, you know, what is your favorite Sega game and why is it not Space Harrier? I mean, well, Space Harrier is kind of cool, but like, that was definitely a big part of the appeal to me. Like when Sega first went third party, like I was definitely much more interested in games like Super Monkey Ball and Skies of Arcadia and stuff like that, that like they weren't like really what I thought, the kind of attitude I traditionally thought of as being associated with Sega. But, you know, I think in retrospect, there's a lot more dorky stuff on Sega consoles than I believed at the time. Really,
yeah, really quick, I want to. I don't know if anybody that's out there is interested in making the MD Plus type games where it uses CD audio in the game, but can somebody please make a MD Plus version of Michael Jackson's Moonwalker? I would love that. That'd be awesome, right? With like the real songs in there.
Yeah, you could never stream it though.
Someone's got to do that. Oh, you could never do that. You could never stream it, but someone has got to do that. I mean, hopefully it's in the works, but if nobody has done it yet, please do that.
This is kind of a cool wormhole effect.
Yeah. Not very good at it.
Is this like an actual level or more of a mini game?
I don't remember.
The bonus game? I have certainly never played this far into the game before. I've never seen this.
Yeah, I mean, you would not be able to stream that version of the game, but I mean, I just think it'd be fun to play the game like that, with like the real songs on it.
Does Pier Solar work with this?
It does. It does, with the CD audio soundtrack as well.
Is that something that would be like kind of maybe a little more controversial? Because like I don't know like to what extent like Pier Solar's ROM is like meant to be freely distributed. Like when it comes to like homebrew stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like I know, for example, like I know Tanglewood, like if you bought the Steam version, they gave you a Genesis ROM.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean,
I have no idea if Pier Solar's a similar situation or not.
Probably not.
Like that's something I never really thought about before until when we interviewed Bunny Boy. You know, because he was talking about like you know, he kind of had a lot of perspective on like piracy and homebrew scene, which is something that probably a lot of people don't think about, because people probably think, oh, homebrew game equals free, right? And like, not necessarily. Like a lot of people, like, you know, are trying to sell those.
Right. I mean, I just consider like how I have it in here. I was gonna go to it because I have it. I have the third, or the last print run and the soundtracks. I got it in my. So you'll see, I have how I arrange everything. I have my own collection in here because these has all the games that I own in here, including.
Do you think Analog will make a more affordable NT Mini? Yes, I think they're going to make a system that will play NES and Famicom games that will be more in line with the style and price of the Super NT and Mega SG. But I also strongly doubt that they will have like the Atari cores and things like that, unless like the patent filed for the Analog 8. You know, I guess that could in theory play all those 8-bit cores that it has. So maybe I would be surprised. Maybe it will play like every 8-bit system ever.
Yeah.
With cartridge adapters. I do hope to see those cartridge adapters for the Mega SG come around, you know, sooner than later.
I need to play through this game.
How much have you played?
To like the end of the first like dungeon area. And there's some people that don't really like it at all. See Lil Bud in the chat saying, I tried playing this game twice, just couldn't get into it.
Have they ever released like like an emulated version of this, like on like modern platforms?
Yeah, there's a PS4 version.
Oh, there is? Mm-hmm. Is there? I'm guessing there's probably not a physical.
No.
See, like, you know, I had, you know, to be honest, I can't remember 100% for sure if I ended up ordering it. I think I did. Like, Ultra Core, for example. I ordered, or at least I'm pretty sure I did. I meant to order the PS4 version, even though you could get like a Genesis cartridge through who was it that did that? Was it
Strictly Limited? I ended up getting the Genesis cartridge.
Right.
But you ordered the Switch version.
Yeah, was it? I can't remember if I ordered Switch or PS4. Probably Switch. I mean, I don't think that's. I guess it's not out yet. But yeah. Anyway, I ordered that because like, even though it's like natively a Genesis game and technically playing it on a Genesis would be the best experience, the fact that it is not a real Sega cartridge, like, is less enticing to me than getting a real PS4 disc, a real Sony PS4 disc, or a real Nintendo Switch cartridge. Even though it would be an emulation, like, that still is more interesting to me to own and to play. And I still think, like, even if developers were making new retro style games for for distributing on new platforms that were built on old hardware, I support that, because I feel I like the idea that you are working with within the constraints of the real system, because then that ensures that your retro vibe is authentic rather than kind of cheated, which, you know, it's cheated more often than not.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see how it ends up. Because I mean, those kind of cartridges they're pretty hit and miss. I mean, obviously the Glay Lancer I got was disappointing.
Yeah.
But I think that there might be. I think this might be a bit more authentic, especially since they're releasing the emulated versions as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine, but it's still not like, you know, Sega spinning up their old factory again. It doesn't have the official Genesis branding on the case and stuff like that. Like it's just it's kind of hard for me to accept it as real after the manufacturer was no longer making the original cartridges. Although for some reason I still kind of want one of those Monica Brazilian games.
Forgot where I'm supposed to go.
The Secret of Mana menu is kind of nice.
Oh. Yeah, I wonder if you can turn off the... Oh, cool, so you can. It just works in real time. Or, oh, there's different versions of it. Because they're not CDDA tracks. They're not Redbook audio. It's like data on the discs. So there's an FM version and a PCM version. That's cool. But I mean, I do need to put the time into this. I've been really feeling a desire to play through an older style RPG for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been feeling that for a long time too, and then I think I made a poor choice trying to play Breath of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just bored me so bad. I wish I couldn't say that. My recollection of it, because I watched friends play a little bit of the first two games on rentals.
Mm-hmm.
And then I owned the Game Boy Advance version, and I remember being so bored by it. I think I got at least halfway through, and I just never finished. And you know, at some point I sold it. I got the first Breath of Fire about a year ago. I'm like, you know, I think I would appreciate this game a lot more now than I did back when I played on Game Boy Advance. Man, I was so bored by it though. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I was just bored.
Well,
I don't know. I think
I really liked it, but maybe I need to revisit it. And
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I got maybe like a quarter or maybe even a third through the game.
I just want to get to one of the battles. I don't know if I have to go buy one.
I see someone saying Jade Cocoon was boring. I actually just bought Jade Cocoon the other day.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I've never played it. I have it, but I always think of an RPG that I expect to be really boring is Shadow Madness. I don't know if you're familiar with Shadow.
Which one is that?
I don't know. It has like a kind of like a pirate-looking guy on the cover. It's like the most generic-looking case cover or box cover or whatever. Cover art.
I kind of want to get Beyond the Beyond someday.
Yeah, I have that. I should play it. I mean, you know, speaking of which, you know, like I say, Beyond the Beyond, how bad could it be? I mean, you've been playing, well, what is essentially like Seiken Densetsu 4. So it's, what is it, Dawn of Mana?
Dawn of Mana, yeah. I mean, I'm not too far into it. I'm on like the 3rd chapter. I don't think it's that long.
You kind of like it.
I kind of like it. I mean, I think one of the big criticisms against the game is that your levels reset each chapter, and like it sort of clicked in my head, like to almost think of it like an episodic game. Like each chapter is like a self-contained episode, essentially. It's like the battle system is kind of weird in that it kind of revolves around it's got the Havoc physics engine. And you like fling stuff around to kind of like catch enemies off guard and make them kind of panic.
Mm-hmm.
And like the more panicked an enemy is, the more likely it is to give you stat bonuses when you attack it. So it's kind of weird that it like revolves around you just like making enemies panic. And they just kind of like run around like, oh no. It's kind of silly, but like it's got a surprisingly modern control scheme. It's a really beautiful game. Like it is an excellent conversion of like the Mana style into 3D. Like it is a really good looking game. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's definitely, it feels like they spent a lot of care and effort, like building up the game engine and the graphics and the style and everything, and the cutscenes are really well animated. But then it kind of feels like maybe they ran into like time and budget constraints and like had to construct a finished game with like what they had. And so it feels, it doesn't really play out like an RPG. But like it feels like they've got good building blocks in place for it. But it definitely feels like if it had like another year to have made a more like elaborate, more continuous adventure with it, like it would have been like a classic. But you know, it's definitely got its problems, but for what it is, you know, especially considering it's a game that got very bad reviews, it's actually, it feels polished for what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it feels polished for the most part. I mean, there's some awkwardness with the physics engine sometimes, for sure, but
I saw that JF is asking if we plan on doing any more Klonoa. Maybe. I mean, I would like to. The second game is not nearly as good as the first one.
I mean, that could be something that we could just do as a mini someday.
Yeah.
The Klonoa games.
Yeah, I mean, I could see doing like a video on like the entire series like that, because that's how we do it.
That's true. That's
how we do it now. Like doing a single game video, I mean, at least for me, is not something that I would probably do very often.
Unless it was possibly just as a mini.
Yes, I mean, where we're just conversing about it, I could see that, because you never know what you can come up with that way. But just in terms of scripting and stuff, it's hard for me to think about doing an entire episode on a single game these days. Mainly because I think that in a lot of cases I feel like I have an obligation to make it a certain length, and it's like I don't know if I can talk about a single game for that long.
I mean, it depends on the game, I guess, but
right, but I generally
also feel like
it to be over 20 minutes if possible.
I feel like something on a single game wouldn't be it wouldn't be
popular. I mean,
it wouldn't be that popular, so in a sense it's not worth the time scripting it out. So if you wanted to do a video, then that might fit the mini concept a little better.
Right. Take care of each other. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I was not paying attention. Looking for somebody in the SOT or something like that. But I mean, just the idea of like doing a video on a single game. I don't know if I have that much to say about. I don't think I could. I mean, generally, I feel obligated to try to make videos around like around 20 minutes at least, like over 20 minutes if possible.
Mm.
But I just don't think I can do that with one game. But I mean, like this Mega SD video, I have no idea how long it's gonna be, because I looked back at the SSDS3 episode, and that was 17 minutes, and I think that this will probably
Is this almost more straightforward than that?
No, but I think that I almost have a habit of like addressing more. I mean, there's more to that I can probably talk about. My list of things I want to talk about is pretty extensive, but who knows how long each of those things will last.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, the SSDS3 episode had a lot of video quality stuff in it because that was a big part of its release. And this has none of that. Although there's gonna be more focus on audio, the audio side of things.
True.
But I mean, just in general, like, it's not. I have no idea how long it's gonna be. I bought a weapon, so maybe I can go and try a different place here. Shouldn't be coming here yet. Forces me to leave. I just want to do a battle. Try here. Any of y'all ever have Sega Channel? I did. I had it for a couple months. That's how I played. I remember playing Comic Zone and Mega Man: The Wily Wars on it. The Willy Wars. Dr. Willy. All right. Oh, gee, it's midnight. Basically.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel! I didn't even realize it.
Time flies when you're playing Sega CD, I guess.
Oh, interesting. So the in-game menu does not work in this. Maybe it's just too big. I should be able to do it this way. See if that does it. No, that reboots the game.
Well, this was a good game to end on then.
Yeah, I guess so. See, that's like another little. No, it's not. No, it's not booting. I wonder if I could do this. Go to the Genesis and back out this way. What happens if I go to run cartridge now? No? You have to push reset to make it work. Okay. Lots of little things I gotta figure out. Well, I think that's gonna about do it for this week.
Well,
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you like the hat, let me know. I'll bring it back sometime.
Has to be a special treat, though.
Yeah.
Can't have it every week.
Only during special events, you know. So this is what happens when there's a fly flying around me, flying around my head. But you know, it's comfy. Sometimes I'll just wear it. You know, I do have a couple of other hats. There's like these winter hats that are like, one's kind of like a tiger head. I'll wear that one time. It has like a.
Oh yeah.
I could
about that.
I'll wear that maybe not next time, but in the future, so we'll.
I mean, haven't you worn like just like one of those winter hats with head flaps? Haven't you worn that on stream before?
Maybe I've maybe worn like a hat. Yeah, I mean, just like not with flaps. It's just like a beanie type thing. I've worn those before.
I don't know, for some reason, I thought you had one of those winter flap hats.
Well, we'll see. A Halloween themed stream in October. I think we could do something like that. We should probably think about doing stuff like that more often. It'd be kind of.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's a backloggery tradition, is to play horror games all October.
Yeah,
that's why I want to get Fatal Frame so bad, because I've got 2 and 3, but I want to start with 1. One of my local shops actually got it this weekend, but it sold too fast. If I don't find it by the time Retro World is over, I'm just gonna order it on eBay so I can play it in October, because I really want to start that series. And then I think Drum is going to play the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Oh.
Which
I
should.
I should. I still have not gotten it. I need to though.
Is super good.
Carlos, we alternate every week. Like Trial will play next week, and I'll be on Discord.
Yep.
So we alternate every week. If you haven't seen any of our previous streams, you can go to the front page of the channel, and there's a playlist that has everything in it.
Yeah, they're unlisted, but the playlist is public.
Right. And I mentioned it earlier, but like our Patreon exclusive videos, like after 3 months, I started putting them into a public playlist, even though they're still unlisted. And I recently added the rather sizable video that we did about your setup update video that we shot. It's like 45.
Ask about stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes long, which is also in a playlist on the front page of the channel. So if you're looking for some more casual videos of us just like rambling about stuff, there's about 40 or 50, maybe almost closer to 60 videos in that playlist at this point. John will be here around Christmas. It's kind of a Christmas tradition at this point, or like just before or right after New Year's. Anyways, thanks to everybody who came and hung out and watched, and everyone who donated and commented and had questions and everything like that. It was a lot of fun. And we will see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night.